Let's try this again. Welcome to episode 117 of the Triple Po, the Postmodern Polymath podcast. I'm your host, Chris. Once again, I'm here to talk to you about how fucked up I am. So, as I said earlier, the beer of the night is uh, raspberry truffle, wake and bake coffee oatmeal imperial stout. It's too sour. I'll just go ahead and tell you that right now. Um, I'm disappointed. To be honest with you, I'm disappointed. I was hoping for something a little more stouty. But I guess you can't always have everything you want. Am I right? So this week, first of all, I wanted to throw out there if you want to come on the show, since I have no guest and Lyman is dragging his feet once again. If you want to come on the show, then just let me know. You can message me, and you can come on and you can shoot the shit and say where the fuck you want to say. In fact, Matt Phillips is over there doing his shit right now. I wonder if he would come over here. Matt Phillips is actually a friend of mine. He lives here in the Middle Tennessee area. Um, so maybe if I can get him to come on here, that would be something interesting. If I could get to work properly. But anyway, um, so I went to the liquor store and got some stuff, and oh, Lord have mercy. And oh, I couldn't take the cart outside apparently for some reason, and I was like, well, my shoulder's busted, and so okay, this dude, I guess the manager dude took it out for me. So that was nice of him. But I'm sitting here wondering why the fuck I can't take this cart, and it's some pretentious fucking cart, and it's whatever, it's fine. But um, so anyway, sorry I'm drifting off. So I got that. I got some vodka. It's the Gay Absolute. Now I don't know if y'all recall this or not, but there is a they did. Oh, there we are. All right, so the thing's choppy. Apparently, the internet's overloaded everywhere because of coronavirus. Everybody's sitting around watching porn at Netflix, streaming concerts, what have you. So anyway, I got the Gay Absolute. Got some additional beer. I got Mocha Sombrero, which is a Mexican. If I'm not mistaken, it's like a Mexican stout. I've had those before. And the other one was New Heights Breweries out here on Nashville, and it's actually a Doppelbock. So Doppelbocks are hit and miss for me, so we'll see. Um, oh, and you're welcome, Justin. So, anything else going on as far as the Corona, baby? The Corona here in our state, our lovely state of Tennessee. What's going on? Well, not much of anything. Our Governor Bill Lee is still just blathering platitudes. Nothing's concrete. You know, just stay indoors and be careful. Blah blah blah. No stay in place order. No, you know. I mean, they did a declaration of emergency, but I don't even know what the fuck they're even doing with that. They're not putting out any money to as far as I know, I mean, I don't. The only thing I think they might be doing, no, I don't. No, they're not doing shit. I mean, the only thing around here, I live in Nashville, and what they're doing around here is they've shut everything down to deliveries. Like, you can't go and eat anywhere. Downtown, the mayor shut down downtown pretty much. And I don't know if y'all heard this or not, but Kid Rock, everybody's favorite dirty fucker, wannabe Confederate, even though he's from fucking Detroit, decided he was going to try to fight it for a while because America. Of course, the next day he decided to, because what are you going to do? Fight the fucking mayor? Come on, man. You're not that important. So Nashville's pretty much shut down. I'm sure Memphis is too. I hadn't heard, but most of the major cities are. Um, Thankfully, hey, I'm back. So apparently this is just going to be a thing. So I know you guys are terribly upset by the prospect of me going in and out, but what are you going to do? Anyway, Mississippi. So the governor has not only decided that he's not going to issue any sort of stay in place order because he says Mississippi is not going to be China. He has overrode any other cities doing it. Jackson had already done it, of course, and he overrode it. So he said, "No, you're not going to do that." Right. So Mississippi once again leading the way in fuck upness. Um. So fuck him. It just goes to show once again, Mississippi is just. It's right there with Alabama. Florida's pretty close, but at least they're purplish now. So, and I heard another story out of Okeechobee County, Florida, where, and this is, you may have heard about this already, but a gentleman, commissioner, said that he heard on, and I don't remember, it's OAN, it's some way right wing bullshit propaganda bullshit network. I don't know, but he said something about coronavirus can't survive above 126 degrees Fahrenheit. So he said that they said that you should blow a hair dryer up in your nose to kill it. Yeah, that's totally normal, totally fine. Every doctor, no, every doctor has never said that, and they're like unequivocally that's bullshit, of course. So, Florida, oh Florida, oh Mississippi. At least Tennessee is like the least of the worst, I guess, in the South. Well, Kentucky, um, what's his name? Andy Bashir, is that his name? He's kicking ass. He's actually getting praise, bipartisan praise, for the way he is handling his situation up in Kentucky. He's he's jumped right on it. He's shutting stuff down. He's holding it up. He's holding things down. He's getting things done. And so I'm the one time I wish might be in Kentucky for once. Who knows? So download Brashear. No, that's the enforcer for. Anyway, whatever, Justin, you're trying to throw me off. So anyway, uh, so Kentucky's doing it's the best state in the South. Technically, Kentucky never was part of the Confederacy, but we'll leave that aside. And the worst, of course, is Mississippi. I don't know, man. I don't know what it's just gonna. And let's keep in mind that all these states have um, refused Medicare expansion, right? Which means they don't give a fuck about their people, right? And so what are they going to do? What are they going to do? And here we go again. Oh, there I am. Hello. um. So, sorry, y'all. I'm trying to see if I can get Lyman on here because he is being a motherfucker and he's irritating me. So, none of these states have have Medicare for all. So what does that mean? Well, or not Medicare for all. You know, they don't take the federal funding for the Medicare or the Obamacare or whatever the fuck it is. So they just got a bunch of uninsured people. How do you think that's going to play out when their states get hit by coronavirus? They've got no infrastructure. In fact, they're shutting down a bunch of rural hospitals, right? Now, you might say, well, fuck them, right? They're, stupid hicks. Okay, well, fair to an extent, but I mean, there are people down there, and a lot of them are just brainwashed idiots, right? The poor people it's I don't know, it's a hard call. Like, they don't have anything and they need something to look to, so they got religion and they got their guns. Obama was right about that. I'm sorry. So they don't have anything to look at, to look for. And they're going to trust anything they say. Of course, they bought Trump. They're all about Trump, no matter what he does. Anyway, whatever. I don't like to see anybody die, except, and I'll get to that in a second, a couple of people I'll mention. People in power can go fuck themselves. The people who are not in power, you generally, I'm a little less, I mean, it's a hard call, because I'm not an evil person. I don't necessarily want everybody to die, just a couple of people. Anyway, so back to the Obamacare money, they're not getting it. So, ow. Damn it. It's in and out, man. Woo! It's going on in these states. What are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? Because these motherfuckers don't care. And so they're going to die off. But the thing is, this system that they've got it set up, it's like this Christianity, it's this built-in, it's a no-lose situation, right? So if you die, well, it was God's will. If you don't die, praise be Jesus, it was his doing. You can't lose, right? So no matter what, people use religion, and I get it. Religion, you got to have something, right, to hold on to if you ain't got shit else. I get that. But in this country, that shit, I mean, we're the richest country in the world, and you're telling me we can't fucking help people out and get them to realize that, government can do some things that are helpful and not rely on fucking the big man in the sky or whatever. But anyway, that's a whole different story. So the thing I'm afraid of is this shit hitting so hard in the South, and then this shit's gonna spread. I mean, it's not isolated. It'll spread to other states. And then you're gonna quarantine the entire South? I know some people might relish that. I am still here, though. So let me get out first. Let me take my mom with me. Then y'all can burn it down. Y'all can pull a William Tecumseh to Sherman. I don't give a fuck. But let me get out first. Another state, however, that is doing things right is Governor Cuomo. in New York. I don't know if y'all are keeping track of that, but he's another one who's going ahead knocking things on out. He is mad at, of course, Trump, who is a useless sack of shit, because he won't give him any more masks, any gear, any equipment. I mean, there are states having to outbid each other for equipment because the feds refuse to give them any equipment. There's no mobilization efforts going. I mean, I heard that it would actually, if we invoke the war, well, I don't know what it's called exactly. It's like a wartime mobilization thing, like they did during World War II, where basically they turned every business, every into a war profit, not profiting, a war making material thing, right? Where they got private industry to fucking make stuff for the effort. Well, that's what they need to do. They need to set up like emergency fucking hospitals everywhere, turn a building, abandoned buildings or little used buildings into like mass units, fucking the full nine. I mean, y'all fucking around because Corona, we just became the number one country. We're number one once again in something that's completely fucked up. Great. So, yeah, we're now number one in the coronavirus Olympics, and that's great. So, um, what can you do? It's depressing. So, China, it looks like their numbers have gone down a bit, but I don't know. We're going to end up taking the lead. I don't know what's going to happen because, I mean, you may have a couple of states that do good. Okay, well, fine, whatever. But it's an entire nation. Even if one state does fine, well, I mean, and other states around it are fucking up, then it's pointless. So, I mean, it's kind of scary. We're kind of in scary times, and I don't think people are fully convinced yet that this is a thing, right? So, I think it comes down to this unique American idea of this can-do spirit, this kind of frontier. I can do it myself, and then I'll get mine, and fuck you. That's what it boils down to, and that's what's going to end up being our end because we're not trying to fucking care about each other. And when it comes right down to it, we're society for a reason. We're supposed to take care of each other. So, I mean, that's the idea anyway. So, I'm kind of rambling a bit on this and I'm kind of jumping different things, but it's just so much to talk about that it's really hard to, it's really hard to get your mind around on some of this stuff. But I did want to come back to Rand Paul got the corona. And I'm not sad about that. And I don't know if you know this, but he was one of the dudes trying to hold up the coronavirus legislation because deficits. Like they give a fuck about deficits any other time, except when it comes to shit like this. So, and of course, I'm sure he's going to not take that socialized health care, right? He's going to pay it out of his pocket. No, he will not. He's a fucking hypocrite. So, what he needs to do is die, painfully and slowly. And I said that, and I don't care. Because this man has actively gone out of his way to try to stand up on principle against the evil fucking socialism, TM, which none of these motherfuckers even know what socialism is. So, and now he's got it. And so I have absolutely no fucking nothing. I don't give a fuck. I hope he dies. I mean, fuck him. And who else? Oh yeah, Lou Dobbs. I just found out got coronavirus. He also can rot in hell. This motherfucker constantly spreads fucking xenophobic bullshit about immigrants. Him and his ilk on Fox News are constantly fucking denigrating immigrants. And really, when it comes down to it, these people cause, of course, all these idiots watch Fox News and they ingest it like fucking a shit sandwich, and they're doing stuff. I mean, it's a direct link. I mean, in as much as you can blame anything somebody says. I don't know. Of course, that's a That's an iffy thing anyway. But certainly doesn't help that he goes around fucking shitting on immigrants all the time. Anyway, and he's older too. So I'm not mad. I'm not going to be sad if he kicks the bucket. That's all I'm going to say. Um. Oh, another thing about Ron Paul, right quick, is he was swimming in the pool and working out at the gym of the Senate, whatever the fuck it is, gym or whatever, before that. So it's possible he could have spread that shit to other people. So take that in for a minute, if you will. All right, what else? Trump has decided that, you know what, we're going to be fine by Easter. Nah, this whole thing will blow over by Easter. No, it'll be fine. Never mind the experts are saying we're just starting. No. Easter's fine. And of course, now all the Republicans are all about some fucking, well, we're going to have to sacrifice people to get the economy because, in the long run, the economy is what's going to kill people. If we don't get this economy back up, that's going to kill more people than this virus. It's just sick. And I don't know how you can, I know how. It's called fucking cognitive dissonance. You can just hold these two completely opposite thoughts in your head at the same time. Right? So, remember death panels? Remember that? Remember the infamous death panels from Obamacare or whatever they said was going to happen? Well, this is what they probably would. It's basically deciding who lives and who dies because we need money. The corporate fuckers need money. And I also want to point out that I saw a meme talking about Italy, talking about 80-year-old. They're basically having to think about anybody over 80. If they don't have the capacity, they're going to have to basically turn them away, right? And they're making fun of because, that's socialized medicine for you. Even though we do the same fucking thing all the time. Now all of a sudden they don't give a fuck. And another country does it, and it's fine. It's bullshit. When we do it, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. When it's in the name of capitalism, it's perfectly fine. So that's disgusting. And it's really, I think it's really laying bare the whole lie behind capitalism. This whole lie of being good for people, it gets you further in the world. It helps you do better. You can make money and stimulate the economy and buy and it'll be better for everybody. No, it's not. No, trickle down has never, will never work. It hasn't worked ever. Even when fucking Reagan, the whole thing in when he came in 80. Hasn't worked this long, it's not going to fucking work. It's a lie. It's a fucking huge lie. And they keep trying to perpetrate the same lie that keeps working. It keeps working. I don't know how. Well, I do know how, because corporations have all the money. So, oh wait, I might have Lyman on. Hold on a second. Okay.
Hello. Hello. Hello? Cool.
Can you hear me, Lyman? Lyman, we lost Lyman. I was doing well with this stream. I guess maybe him fucking overloaded it. Like I said, the stream, people are using it so much that it's fucking everything up. So Lyman is muted. I was just saying, can you hear me, Lyman?
I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm saying that the stream, a lot of bandwidth is apparently being used on the whole planet. So
that's actually a fact, and it's causing problems in my professional life as well.
So I've been in and out, so that's just going to be the fact of the show. It's going to be. It's actually. It's actually kind of a sign of the times. It's kind of part of the podcast. We are part of reality. We are part of the zeitgeist right now. So
I would have worn my Guy Fawkes mask, but I can't vape through it.
that's a lame excuse. Cat, sorry, cats.
I can pause this
Why?
and come back in my mask if you like.
You can. I mean, I didn't know you had. No, if you can't breathe, you're about. I don't want you to.
I can breathe. I only got the COVID, but the important thing is you have no access to your mouth.
Don't worry. I don't even know what the fuck that was. I don't want to know. So, the cat knocked something over. So I was rambling on about Corona and capitalism. It was showing the lie of capitalism and how how wonderfully it works, and we're seeing how it doesn't. It basically kills people, which you should.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's interesting because, and I'm not going to get long-winded because if I talk too much, I get out of breath. Um, Everyone says, well, not everyone, but everyone who doesn't know what they're talking about is like socialism kills people. But the fact of the matter is, number one, there are shitty people that have killed people, not socialism, because there are plenty of countries in the world that use quote unquote socialism right now, that everyone can go to the doctor, everyone can have their kid looked after while they go to work, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and they're not being murdered. But secondly, the countries that everyone likes to use, Venezuela, Brazil, all these places, they are explicitly places that the United States likes to interfere with because it is expedient to the national agenda as opposed to actually the people. And that's a matter of fact. Like, you can fact check that all day.
I'm back. It's
There's not
expedient.
one place. There's not one place in South America or Central America that you can point to where it's like, oh, Venezuela, Brazil, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, where when they wouldn't play capitalist ball with us over the last 50 years, that we didn't directly fund radicalist right-wing insurgents, quote unquote, send aid, but also include weapons, ammunition, things like that for radicalists, and enable them to do anything from commit genocides to trying to get them to cause unrest within the population so they would revolt. Fact of the matter is that if you look at it, capitalism by design has an end game that we're in right now, which is the wealthy get wealthier, the poor get poorer, and everyone can fuck themselves below a certain point. And socialism, or what America calls socialism, is something that is not in the favor of the people that would get wealthier and wealthier under capitalism. And all the people that have been killed under, people say that Germany was socialist, which is horseshit. It says, people say that they were communist, which is people who don't know history. It's just abject garbage. It's that whole entire outlook is a byproduct of American exceptionalism for the last 125 years or so, at least.
Yeah, I mean, well, since the beginning of the country, really, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I mean,
but like social, all the things that a lot of the Republicans right now are like, I mean, let's face it, the average Fox News viewer and average Republican is not 30 to 50. They are the boomers, which are people that are either already collecting Social Security or getting ready to. But the fact of the matter is that when Social Security was first proposed as a thing, lo and behold, that was socialism, and there was a whole big propagandist effort to paint that as socialism. If you look at pretty much every social program we have or nationalized program we have in the last 120 to 130 years, it was every time it was met with somebody saying it was socialism or communism, because America just interchanges those words because, you know, learning is arbitrary
Hard.
and subjective apparently, and hard.
Yeah.
Words are hard.
Yeah, they are. Especially when you don't give a fuck to learn them in the first place. That's always an issue.
But to be
So
fair to the people that don't learn it, it's not taught properly.
well, that's true too. Yeah, there seems to be a dearth of actual education, especially in the poor. Well, they want to keep them that way, of course. In the poorer states, in the red states, they don't want them to actually. And it's not just there, really, I guess, but it's more so. It's this whole idea of American exceptionalism is some sort of is a fact when it's actually just an interpretation that's bullshit.
It's nonsense. I mean, there are certain things about it. I mean, objectively, there are certain things about America that I'm not going to say we do better, but they're good compared to some places. Um, but most of the things that other immigrants and stuff idealize as this golden goose that they should immigrate here for is because they come from places that have fucking dictators and strong men in government, that if you do your history research, America backs. Like, these people don't come out of the woodwork, and they certainly don't exist on their own. I mean, all these big countries and little countries that everyone points to as problematic end up being places that have resources that we want and interests that we have. And God forbid somebody is like, yeah, people should have health care, or, let's let the workers have more power, or whatever version it is. It's like, I mean, we've gone as far as to assassinate democratically elected people, or indirectly through the shadows, through the CIA, through John Bolton, 70s, 80s, 90s. I would say mostly in the late 70s and 80s, back these radical nut jobs to overthrow people that didn't want to play ball with the U.S. That's like,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's not my opinion. That's something that just is verifiable fact through declassified information in the United States government. You can Google it right now and read the documents. It is not my opinion. It is not conspiracy theory. It is not a leftist view. It is a fact.
Absolutely. So maybe we'll kind of come back a little bit to the current day. I wanted to ask you what the state of affairs was in your particular state.
And it's really weird because, okay, so with exception of, I think it's like 5 to 7 core industries that are whittled down to specific places, or I should say, exceptions are made within those industries to be considered essential, quote unquote. Everything is shut down, and we are all but ordered to shelter in place. So it's full on quarantine mode for everybody. Um, Unless you're like healthcare, emergency, obviously. Um, you do construction for commercial or residential or food, pharmacy, things like that. Like, you are just done. And thankfully, because I work in the tech industry, the IT world is considered essential. But right now I'm able to work remotely, which is very fortunate because that would suck otherwise. But um, I mean, we're the doctors behind the scenes, so to speak, that keep everyone's infrastructure running so they can do things. Whether it's the pharmacies being able to process stuff, or doctors and hospitals being able to use their computers and servers and all that stuff. So, yeah, I went to the grocery store for a few weeks, and there were like 8 people, including the people that work there, and you can't find like probably 40% of the store.
Yeah, it's well. So you live in a sane state. Let me go ahead and preface that. I live in Tennessee, where apparently sanity is not something that's in large supply. Our governor has decided not to, like I said earlier, to spout platitudes. Be careful, blah blah blah. Wash your hands. I mean, I think he declared a state of emergency, but he's never hasn't done a shelter in place. I don't know. I don't think he's done anything especially, forward looking or whatever. So, I mean, Nashville proper, the mayor has shut down downtown, which is actually a kind of a big deal because that's where all they get their. Oh Lord! So that we got hit by a tornado not too long ago, and so that made things a little more interesting. By
I think
interesting, I
we've
mean fucked up.
hit a
Yeah,
bandwidth
that's fine.
lag spike here. I see the timer ticking for live.
And if it does that, just shut up,
Chris is
and we'll.
refreshing.
Oh, mine's fine. So anyway, um, yeah, we don't care. Nashville proper, we're doing the deliveries. We still haven't gotten the shelter in place. Um,
So to give you an idea, and to give props where they're due, Governor Hogan, I'm in Maryland. I'm 35, 40 minutes from the White House. Has he's done a good job, man. Like honestly, since I'm new out here, I didn't realize he was a Republican. That's how good of a job he's doing. And that sounds like that's going to give some people fodder to say some, oh, well, you're just partisan. No, it's like they shut down any place that does any restaurant. The only way they can operate is if they have either delivery or no touch pickup. You call ahead, and there's either a bag or a box waiting for you out there, or at most somebody comes out with gloves and a mask and everything and hands you a bag. Um, I mean, I was originally from weeks ago supposed to get on a plane tomorrow morning to go back to Phoenix to see my 7-year-old son, and American Airlines has canceled all their stuff, which was what I was flying, and I know Southwest has canceled all their flights. It's a serious thing. What's interesting though is when I talked to his mother in Arizona, um,
oh boy.
it seems about a week and a half to 2 weeks behind us in where they're at. Like schools are technically shut down, but they've got, video stuff going. They're not like, it seems like some stores are still open. It's like from East Coast is the worst, and it fades over to the West, with the exception of like Washington State.
Yeah. We don't speak kindly of your ex-wife. Just we're not going to say anything more than that.
We're just gonna. I
We'll leave it at
refer to
that.
her as Voldemort.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.
She who
Just
will not be named.
yeah, just for the listeners or the viewers' information. You know, in case I mean you may have spoken her before. I don't recall, but anyway.
No, I never
No.
have.
Okay, well let's
Only as vague, at least as vaguely, if not more vague than I just did.
Okay, well we'll leave it at that unless you decide you want to vent, and that's fine too. But we'll leave it up to you. Uh,
Only a little bit indirectly because I allegedly have a deposition next week because
oh,
I have to defend
that's
my
fucking everything
fatherhood
up.
and my validity in a 7-year-old's life because I mean, at the end of the day, her attorney, she assaulted me, and instead of just being like, "Oops, we fucked up," because I didn't make a thing out of it, um, they try to spin it as me being a danger, which is really interesting. Because if anybody knows what I've been through, um, if that was the case, I probably would have been a danger a long time ago, not now.
Okay, so Casey, a friend of ours, said, "I appreciate that Lyman looks like he will go steal kids' Halloween candy."
Absolutely. You know what? If children are taught not to share, we redistribute the wealth.
Fuck yeah, comrade. And also, she said your ex is a, and she said this is a cunt. I'm not allowed to say that.
I can neither confirm nor deny. I am. That is public opinion.
we'll just we'll just leave it at that. So having said that, I don't know, and I've been
We've got a little bandwidth spike. Apparently, Pornhub is stealing our mojo.
keeping the ear, my Lord have mercy. Okay, so anyway, um, I've been listening to the news a lot because I'm just it's everything's Corona now, and so
Yep.
it's just getting old. But I did listen today. I listened to a couple of shows. I listened to Rachel Maddow, which I'll listen to for political stuff. Yes, I know. Okay, she's a bit establishment on some stuff, but I listen mostly
She's
to her.
not perfect.
No, but she's fairly for me. She's fairly I can unbiased in as much I can get news that is isn't totally like just skewed in the wrong or in the other direction. But anyway, I'm pretty able to sift out the wheat from the chaff, as if you will. But I don't know if you heard about this stimulus or package or whatever they just
Oh
passed.
yeah.
Or whatever. Um, finally they got it pushed through.
Wait,
And
did
I'm
they
not.
actually officially pass it? Last I heard that
Oh wait,
Lindsey Graham was too concerned that
no, they fought.
nurses were getting paid and poor people might have a couple extra $100.
No, it got pushed through. I do want to make a because people are saying well it's because Bernie threatened to do something, hold up the bill,
This
hold
is
the door.
news to me, so educate me. I only
Um,
saw him railing them. I didn't hear anything about
yeah,
threats.
but it's past the Senate now. It was like 96 to nothing or something. It goes to the House. I don't know. The House is of course Democrat controlled and is a lot further left. So I have a feeling they're gonna let it go because as it is right now, it's about as good as they're going to get. And I'm actually surprised at some of the stuff they were able to get because the Democrats, for once, stood up and got something. But I did want to a quick mention Elizabeth Warren doesn't seem to be getting the play she should have for shepherding that through. To be honest with you, Bernie's getting play, and okay, Bernie did help. I don't, I don't want to deny that. Um, but I do feel that Warren isn't getting the play she should be getting because she has experience with these motherfuckers, these corporate motherfuckers, from her time in the what was it, the agency she started in couldn't head because she's too fucking controversial. Um, the Consumer Protection Bureau, whatever it is. Um, so anyway, the main things are people will be getting $1,200 up to 75,000 income. I think children is 500. They've upped unemployment insurance to like 80% of total income, unemployed income. It used to, I think it's usually 40. Um, and it also takes into account people on the gig economy. And I don't know what to tell you, bro. Okay, all right. So I mean, it's not a complete win. And I am actually, like I said, I'm surprised that they got what they did get. Um, to be honest. So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I feel like this bill is about as good as they're going to get. I don't know what the House is going to try to do with it. I can't imagine they're going to try to do too much to it.
You know, I think, and I apologize for dropping out there for a second because,
It's par for the course right now.
yeah, pretty much. I think it'll either go through as is or they will try to add to it in a positive way. But have you read the details of it?
Yeah, I've got the. I mean, not the super the details, but Uh, I've gotten the most of the main points. Yeah, and you missed them.
So yeah, I did.
You cut out. That's fine.
I'm actually pleasantly surprised at what passed. I mean, if I'm 100% honest, I'm shocked because with the original, like, oh, McConnell, poor people, penalize, you know, Bernie, as far as what I know and what I've watched and seen, like, he comes up and is like, oh, the universe is going to end. Will it survive? Like, fuck the poor people. That's what you guys are about. All of a sudden, everyone's like, let's pass it. Um, I don't know.
Lord have mercy. He cut out again. That's fine. Yeah, like he was saying, I'm actually pretty. It's not. It's of course it's not enough, obviously, but it's about. It's probably about as good as you're going to get in the current environment. It's funny it took a fucking pandemic to get to these motherfuckers to come to the table. I'm surprised that they even did that. I mean, they're all killing about old people. They're all about killing old people in the name of profits. So I mean, who the fuck knows what else? They're going to be concerned about. I don't know why they care about that. Okay, I'm back again. Don't know if Lyman is. I see his fucking screen up. Um. So anyway, I feel like this is a win. House of Representatives. Who knows what's going to happen? Pelosi seemed to speak neutrally on it. don't know what's going to happen. All right. Well, here we go again. So, Lyman, there he is. All right. So, here's the rule if you see it doing the thing, just shut up. Just assume nobody can see you because otherwise it'll just be a mess. That's what I've been doing. If I see it starting doing that swirly shit, I just shut up. Because otherwise it'll just won't sound right. Nobody will be able to hear it, even though I like the sound of my own voice. Uh, and you're not coming through. No, you're probably talking shit and you've muted it. That's why you muted it. Yep. And he's like, yeah, fuck you, asshole. Um, well, here's a question. Who's watching? Anybody watching? One person. What? One person. What do you think? Do you think this was a good deal? One person. Okay. No, still not. Is there the one person? Nope, zero now. Still can't hear him. I can't. No. I don't know what he's doing. He's jacking off over there. The one person disappeared. Um, but anyway, so Elizabeth Warren, I don't think has gotten enough props for what she's done. I do see Bernie getting a lot of props. He was the guy. I get it. He's the dude, whatever. But I mean, I feel like Warren deserved more. There, I hear you now. I hear you.
You hear me?
Yeah. I
All
was
right.
just saying Warren probably deserved more props.
Well, yeah. I mean,
She did. I didn't hear a lot about her, but she had a lot to do with getting the thing through because she knows a lot about that kind of stuff. She is a plan. She has a plan. And she's known for that shit.
I think what's really interesting right now is Joe Biden's basically either MIA or coughing on people. And
Where the fuck did he go, bruh?
dude, listen, if I was running for president right now, this is my fucking time to shine because it doesn't get a whole lot worse. You know what I mean? It's like the world is in crisis, the US is in crisis. This is the time to show your leadership. Obviously, you can't write laws, pass things, executive orders, blah, 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 blah. But this is your time to do what, ironically, Bernie has done, which, I mean, he has switched from campaign mode to fundraising relief mode. It's over 2 million, 3 million now that he's raised for this
I
in
don't know.
donations.
I haven't been keeping up.
It's at least 2 million. I know for a fact that he has basically said, like, donate to this, and he hasn't pushed his own fucking campaign at all. Joe Biden showed up on a show, I forget which one it is, like, I don't know if it's The View or whatever the fuck it is, and managed to, which we've all done, so it's not like this cardinal sin, but it's indicative of how fucking twisted America is. In the middle of talking, cough and not cover his cough during a pandemic. So his contribution is showing you what not to do. The Bernie Sanders campaign is showing you what you should do. And I will just say, there's a good amount of primary left, which is on pause because of the pandemic. I did not cover my cough because I have no human around me. So fuck you.
Damn it.
I know. But if you are a never Bernie or Bernie's not going to win, blue no matter who during this primary, it would seem to me that you'd be looking at your candidates to see what they have to offer and what they do. And the only one that is a clear actor and activist for the benefit of the everyman is Bernie Sanders right now, objectively.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
How
He,
everybody at this point should be, if you're a Democrat, let me rephrase, if you're not a Republican, should be like, I want to vote in my primary when I'm allowed to because I can't right now, but when I do, I want to vote for Bernie Sanders. Because, I mean, if you get sick right now, yeah, the testing is free, but the
now.
doctor visit is not. Yeah, now. If you are one of the unfortunate people that has a pre-existing condition or underlying medical situation, and you have to go to the ER, if you have insurance, you're going to be paying out the ass. Haven't you should start trying to Craigslist your fucking kidneys. And the only
I'm
person,
trying to.
yeah,
Sorry.
like
I'm trying to think how
gently
that would go.
used, never drank,
Oh, well, that wouldn't work
no
for me.
carb, vegan diet, left kidney, 35,000 or best offer. The only persons whose policies in an emergency, no, I mean, here's the thing: nobody plans for a pandemic, nobody plans for an emergency, nobody plans for anything of this nature. At the end of the day, you need to be thinking ahead. You need to be thinking about your neighbor because ultimately we are only as good as the least insured person, the most vulnerable person. It's that old adage about chain link fences and chain links and weakest links and whatever. But
Continue.
yeah, here we go. So, I mean, we're no matter how well off you are, no matter how much insurance your company gives you for free, if you are so lucky, but most of you are not. You're only as safe from the things, at the very least, that money cannot shield you from, which is death and dismemberment and being maimed, as the most vulnerable person. And I don't know about you, but if I had an extra $250,000 laying around, the thing I would not want to do is hand it to a hospital because of something that is not anybody's fault, like a virus of some sort or a pandemic or whatever. It is beyond my fucking comprehension as the broken human that I am, sitting up with Halloween lights still up. Fuck you guys. It's awesome. In a hood on my stoop in DC as to why you would not vote for the person that is going to make sure that you and your loved ones can get the care that you need without needing to worry about if you can make your fucking Nissan Sentra payment or your 1-bedroom apartment payment. That is fucking mysticism. It's Americanism at this point. I simply don't get it. Bernie 2020, like, sure, if he doesn't get it, vote for the fucking person that's not Trump. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you if you're not voting for him and you're not a Republican? For real. Like, I get his supporters are douchebags. Like, there are douchebags everywhere. You can find one that thinks Taco Bell or Mexican food or, like, anything that you have an opinion on, there's a douchebag that has a counter opinion. Right
Mm,
now, if you or your kid or your spouse or your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your non-gendered life partner has an issue with, regardless of what you think you are or believe you are or know you are, like, why the fuck wouldn't you vote for the guy that's actually advocating for you?
Okay, what? No, let me interject
Please
quickly.
do.
Only thing I would say is that there are people I have talked to, mostly women, who have legitimately been harassed on more than one occasion by Bernie supporters. Of course, I
Sure,
have to
man.
say, not all Bernie supporters, I guess,
Well,
but it's
I
a
will agree with
legitimate
you.
criticism.
It is 100%. But you know what? There are people that hate your favorite fucking food that are rapists and murderers and everything else. Like, do you stop eating your food? You can't lump the fucking population at large unless they are swastika wearing, goose stepping motherfuckers like that are make up the bulk of somebody's rhetoric. Like, yes, they are assholes. People getting harassed are fucking victims of assholes. But like, Jesus Christ, like, you can't just sit there and let that be like, oh well, because Joe747 on the fucking internet sent me a pick. It means I'm not going to vote for my fucking health care or somebody else's. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, if we wrote off anything that some asshole believed in or some fucking serial killer or rapist or otherwise, was fond of or supported, we would live in the middle of the fucking woods. And even then, you have Ted Kaczynski, which was an isolationist. Like, you can't fucking isolate yourself from everything. Yeah, Bernie isn't his supporters, and his supporters aren't Bernie. Yeah, the people that are assholes, fuck them.
Okay,
But like,
well,
there's some common sense involved. Shun the fucking assholes. Call them assholes. Everyone call them out. Don't excuse them. But like, just because they like Nintendo doesn't mean you have to like Sega. Like, I don't understand the fucking logic.
for one thing, how the fuck old are you? You don't know nothing about Sega and Nintendo, bruh. I had the originals, the Master System, and the Nintendo Entertainment System, and he's that out again. Okay, I'm back. Casey, here's. Wait, let me bring my. Yeah. I'm just gonna say right quick. Um, Casey says I'll be more afraid of being harassed by Biden himself than Bernie. Well, okay. Maybe I'm just biased because Bernie told me to come over because I'm thick in a meme the other day. What the fuck?
Listen, if if
Wait a
if
minute. That
if Bernie's meme game is strong, you have my permission to do whatever you got to do.
I
But I
did
mean, the
not see
bottom
that coming.
But
Anyway,
like, the bottom line of the whole situation is, it's like, it's one thing if somebody's platform is to sit there and be like, yeah, brown people are bad. Like, at that point, when you get to the Trump level, there is no good people on both sides. But majority of people, no matter what you look at, whether it's politics or food or fucking movies, bands, there are always assholes. There are always fucking assholes. There are people
all
that will
right,
harass
fine.
you. But I guess my point is, it's like, you can sit there and say Bernie bros are douchebags, and I don't disagree. There are a lot of them. I've experienced them. But just because someone's a fucking douchebag, which is like point zero to the
Okay.
6 billionth to you, doesn't mean you have to write off somebody else's fucking platform, which is legitimately objectively about people.
Nobody's.
You say nobody, but in my experience, personally, I've experienced people that are like, well, they harass me. And it's like, okay, well, that's valid. But, like, where do you draw the line between there are stupid people and everything?
All right. Let me just, we'll end this because you're just going to, and you're very passionate about this. I get that.
I am passionate because at the end of the day, like, we're going to have two choices. And although none of them may be ideal in every sense of the word, you have to pick the one that is going to do the least amount of damage and the most amount of good.
Oh, okay, granted. But what I did want to say is, I just wonder if Bernie couldn't do a better job of nipping that shit in the butt. And now let me finish. Let me finish before you say anything.
No, I agree with you.
Well, I was preemptively. Wait a minute. Here's my thing. So, and I'm not saying I didn't say it's not gonna be. It wouldn't be perfect, but it would show like okay. So these people are fucking toxic pricks. What I'm going to do, and he can't get all of them right. But I feel like, I mean, what about this? For example, have like a dedicated social media person who's savvy, maybe, and kind of find the.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. I can't see.
Do you see me?
No, I don't see you.
All right, fair enough. I stopped hearing you at social media savvy.
All right, somebody who's social media savvy, and like, I'm not saying they. I don't know. You've got resources for fuck's sake. I feel like maybe a dedicated person who's kind of keeping track of the worst ones and maybe calling them out, right? And kind of showing that he's putting in forth effort. It sounds like, and I don't know if I want to specifically call him out necessarily, but well, yeah, because he's the one that's getting most of it. And yes, I understand he's probably like gets frustrated. Well, I'm not telling them to do this. Well, okay, fine, but to some extent, you are. Oh my God, you are responsible for your followers. I'm sorry, to extent you are. Okay.
To your point, I don't disagree with you entirely, but I agree with you. Let me say this: I agree with you overwhelmingly, the majority of what you said. But here's the problem: when you're trying to do anything that involves the masses, I have no idea if you can hear me. When you're trying to do something that is overwhelmingly with the masses, if you try to address every egregious thing that some garbage human does, you will spend the entirety of your effort trying to address every egregious thing that everybody does. I have no idea if you heard any of that.
Yeah, but you cut off at the.
I was going to say, when you're trying to do something in mass like this, I agree. If it were me, I would say, look, in not so many words, like, yo, all you assholes, like, basically fuck off. Chill. That's not what we're about. But at the same time, I think there is such a controversy and line being drawn like 6 different ways between the centrist and the ultra far left that you would spend the entirety of your time trying to basically say, yo, Bobby on the far left, don't do that. Like, Susie on like the centrist area, like, yo, chill. You'd spend like at a certain point, it dilutes what you're trying to get across, which from a strategic standpoint, if you're trying to, insert disruption and chaos into somebody's campaign, that's perfect, because what's going to make the headline is Sanders calls out blah blah blah. Sanders calls out blah blah blah. Lyman calls out blah blah blah. And the entirety of, the crux of your platform takes third fiddle. So I mean, it's hard. I'm not excusing it. If it were me, I could do nothing but call out people that are harassing other people, like calling them all kinds of weird, inappropriate things, and doing all this stuff. I couldn't stand for it, because clearly I can't even shut the fuck up about something like this. But I mean, I get kind of where it's coming from when you're spending, when it's millions of dollars every few minutes to be on TV or this or that or fly there. You have to pick your battles, because that's going to be the punchline of every article. That's going to be the tagline of every, tweet. And you're trying to win an election for the overall greater good of what you're trying to accomplish.
Okay, well, let's just leave it here, because I don't want to.
And I apologize for being long-winded, because I have no idea what you heard, because I saw a lot of pausing.
Yeah, I know, that's fine. I think your point's been made. I made my point. All I would say in conclusion is maybe make it. I mean, I get what you're saying. As far as you're afraid it's going to get into, he said, you have to police everything. I was just saying certain examples. I'm not saying everything.
I don't disagree entirely.
Okay, well, entirely. That's fine. Okay. So let's just, because we could do that all day. So anyway, and this is to come back to the bill that was passed, and he's gone again. Lord have mercy, y'all. You know what? Lyman's a fucking asshole. Okay, let me tell you right now. All he does is try to show me up with his good looks and his winning personality. And let me tell you something, I'm tired of it. Okay? I'll sit in his fucking front porch with Halloween lights up. I don't know how Natalie puts up with that shit. Okay? Natalie? I'm sorry. Okay, nobody cares. But anyway, I'm waiting for Lyman to come back. But all right, I'm back. So let me get my part out. Bernie could do better. I feel like in policing his shit and to act like, well, one side or the other, you never. I mean, then you might as well not police anything at all. That's what that argument sounds like to me. But he's not on here, so I'm not gonna argue about it anymore because he doesn't have a side. But I'm telling you right now, we'll probably have to cut this off soon because it's just getting ridiculous. But I did want to get some opinions. I feel like, as far as interaction, this seems to be better, this format, as opposed to doing YouTube. I swear to Jesus, every time we do anything on YouTube, nobody's watching. Now, I get it. Nobody wants to hear two white dudes running their fucking mouths ad infinitum. But, it'd be nice to get some feedback, and not negative feedback like a friend of mine. I don't even if you can call her a friend or not. She just basically one of those people who just disagrees with you on everything and has to be a shithead about it. I just don't see the point. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look at the comments on And well, actually, the episode, last episode, and maybe the episode before that, both of them maybe I can't remember, but just give it a fucking rest. Jesus Christ! I mean, God, we get it. You think a revolution's imminent, but your white ass, upper middle class white ass, just needs to chill the fuck out. You're not going to go on the streets. It's not going to affect you. Okay, you go vote for your little fucking protest vote. Well, you in your little gated community while fucking trans people are fucking murdered on a regular basis. Okay, maybe I went a little too far, or maybe not. Fuck it. It just makes me mad. That kind of shit really upsets me when people just don't think outside their little fucking box and they only think about themselves. Now, that's not to say empathy is necessarily my middle name. However, you know, I do try. I mean, I make mistakes, but I do try. Wait a minute. I was like one viewer, and the one viewer is me. So I'm closing that out. I didn't know it did that. And I also did not know that you could see on here. Okay, let's do 8 likes here. Let me think. Matt, if I can get the stick. Justin Krebs and Celia Gray loved it. Matt Phillips, Casey Sheffield, Tim Guilfoyle, Bob Pendello, Lisa Owens, Ashley Hall, Tim Coyfield. That was my realtor that sold sold us the other house, I think. That's really weird. Okay. I did put it on public though, so I'm going to lose my shit on people who sit out the election or protest vote. And I'm watching too. Thank you, Matt. There's a certain somebody, and I won't name her except her name is Sally Hunt. And I'm back again. I just can't with people like her. She is just crazy. If you don't know how I'm talking about, go look her up. Sally Bucksbaum Hunt. She is a fucking nut job. She says the same shit over and over. I'm going to protest, vote for Trump because, you know, when progressive, you should have listened to us progressives and you fucking, now you're going to have to suffer with Trump for the next 4 years. You're going to have to sacrifice, blah, blah, blah. Okay, privileged white woman. Go ahead and preach that shit. But she's got pull. I mean, well, she was on fucking, what show was it once? Laura Ingraham, some Fox show, and all of a sudden she thinks she's the shit. I don't know. She thinks she's apparently the official spokesman of fucking atheism. I don't know. But anyway, steer clear of Sally Bucksbaum Hunt, or go harass her like I did. It's always fun. If you don't have anything else better to do, like actually do things. I did want to tell y'all, I was thinking about, and I had mentioned this on my Facebook post before. I wanted to try to start some sort of thing where if people needed like a little loan, and I know it's derivative, you know, modest needs. I know what that is. It's like you take microloans basically and you pay them back when you can or whatever. But I was thinking about this for like specifically people I know on Facebook, my little family or whatever, I guess. And of course, you could contact me. And the thing about this stuff is the whole thing's contingent upon you trusting me. So, I mean, because if you give me money towards this, you don't know what the fuck's going to happen to it. I mean, I get that. I might not even ask for. I just give it myself. I'm not rich, but I mean, I've got a little put back, and especially if we get that 1,200 or whatever, I'm thinking about using that as a backstop on on this thing. So, if y'all got any ideas about how to pull that off, I don't know anything about fundraising or anything, or charity. I don't. Charity's not really a good word. I don't feel like. But if you've got any ideas, suggestions, or anything about how I could do this, I was thinking about doing it through PayPal and just if somebody needs something and they DM me or and whatever, it'd be confidential unless whatever. Um, if you have any ideas, you can either comment on here, put on my Facebook wall, or you can DM me or something. That's just something I thought about doing, or whatever, because things are going to get worse before they get better. I think so. We need to kind of. I think we're just going to have to go ahead and just deal. I think we're just going to have to be prepared for that. And again, I'm in a decent position right now where I'm at, so I probably won't have to worry about my situation. So, and especially since I'm a single white guy with my mom has a house. I mean, I have resources. I have backup. A lot of people don't. They're like, well, shit. Most Americans are like one catastrophe away from homelessness, and this fucking if they're getting laid off now, they're not getting decent unemployment. Some people might be, but I mean, now with this bill, but I mean, they don't have any fucking savings. What are they gonna do? So. And this would be like for to get you through like the next month or something. I use the analogy of course, some people have a visceral reaction against "It's a Wonderful Life," which you're entitled to that. I know it's saccharine, sweet, Americana shit, propaganda shit. I get it, okay, but it's it's nice. But anyway, so a savings and loan or whatever it was called. It wasn't called that. It was something called else. But he only had so much money to keep the bank open because his fucking uncle, which I'd have kicked his ass. He forgot he lost the money because, well, anyway, forget it. They, what's his name? George had some money. He was going to go on this trip, and he used that to keep the bank afloat. He was like, "Okay, how much do you need? I can't give you like all the people, or like I can't give you. What can you do to get by on, right?" And it's the idea of kind of, which is so weird because that is socialism. A super American movie with socialism in it. It's just weird to me. Anyway, so it's helping people get by, right? Month to month, if something comes up, and if they get a little extra, then they give it back to that person, put it back, and then maybe somebody else. I mean, you get the idea. I mean, it's not terribly fucking original. So anyway, if you got any ideas, let me know. I don't think Lyman's coming back. It looks like he's out for the count, probably. Let me get on Facebook and see if he's messaged me. But let me see here. Well, he hasn't messaged me back, so we'll run it a little longer. Um, so I feel like I've rambled on enough, but if y'all have any your own stories y'all want to tell, or if there's something concerning about your particular area, your particular state, your particular locality, country. I mean, because I know I got Canadians, and actually I don't know how Canadians are holding up. To be honest with you, so if you're a Canadian or out of, but most of the people I know are Canadians. How y'all doing? We know what's going on in this country, or at least we know in our certain areas. But how y'all doing in the Great White North? And actually, I might have somebody on who's a Canadian to talk about that because I'm really curious. We don't hear much about that because we're just. I mean, you hear about Europe, China, India's on lockdown now. But we don't really hear about Mexico or Canada, come to think of it. So, anybody who's from another country, how y'all dealing? What are the things you're going through? What are you doing to kind of, are you doing, I know in Brazil, fucking Bolsonaro is a piece of shit. You already know he ain't doing shit. Fucking, he's Trump, he's the Brazilian Trump. So you know he ain't doing shit. So, um, and I think they just finished Carnival, and you know those motherfuckers are all up in each other's face. People packed in there. So, I, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, there was a point that was made, and I want to say it was somebody with the World Health Organization, the UN. We are basically as strong as our weakest healthcare system. Well, as far as planetary on the planet, well then we're fucked. Because if you think about the weakest healthcare systems, come on, think about it. There's plenty of them, and we're not exactly the top of the. In fact, you're probably one of the lowest in the industrial and just. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and shut down because this is ridiculous. But thanks everybody for listening. I'm sorry we're having so many issues with the bandwidth, but yeah, I know everybody's, you know, watching their Netflix and their porn, and I don't blame y'all. You got to do what you got to do in quarantine. So I don't want to be too mushy, but I am feeling like this shit's gonna get worse before it gets better. Um, so if you need to, vent, if you want to come on and talk about it, if you want to DM me, Lyman, uh, just talk about shit because it's gonna get scary. I think it's pretty scary. I mean, not so much for me because again, I mean, I'm in decent shape. But if you're in a shitty situation, then let me know. All right, y'all. Well, again, thanks for listening. Sorry about the shittiness. All right, well, let me see if I can get it right this time. Until next time, y'all take it easy now, okay?